Most people try to overcome anxiety, but that's just adding fuel to the fire. Believe it or not, anxiety isn't a flaw. It's your body trying to communicate. From decades of guiding thousands of people to deepen their meditation, realize self-understanding, and heal trauma, I've seen that true healing doesn't come from fighting anxiety, but from understanding it to be a protective alert from within the body. So what if your anxiety isn't a threat, but your body's way of getting your attention? If you keep treating anxiety as something to fix, you'll stay stuck in the fight with it. We all need another approach. Can meditation cure anxiety? Is anxiety really something that needs to be cured? Or is it a completely natural sensation? Other than what we do with that sensation is perfectly fine. So what is it that we do with it? We mentally react to it and resist it, complain about it, worry about it, fear it. And all this mental reaction to our anxiety is increasing the anxiety to a point where it becomes a psychological problem, when it isn't really, in truth, a psychological problem. But when our thoughts are in reaction to this physical sensation in our body, then our thoughts about anxiety, all about anxiety, there's your psychological problem. So it's not something we should be thinking about. If you don't think about the sensation of anxiety that you're feeling in your body, you won't create a mental anxiety, the mental problem of mental anxiety. So it's very important to understand how to drop back from the mental anxiety into the purely physical sensation that you're reacting to as anxiety in your body. So the anxiety in your body is not something that needs to be cured. The anxiety that is a reaction to that sensation in your body, that needs to be cured, but only in the sense that we need to see through it for what it really is. Yeah. So the reason I'm hesitating to use the word cured actually is because it's not an illness, it's not a disease, it's not really a problem until, like most things, until we start overthinking it, until we start trying to avoid it, until we start trying to get away from it or change the way it actually feels inside of us. All of these things, trying to avoid, trying to suppress, trying to change the way it actually feels to be us in any given state, these are the additions of mental states or mental thoughts about the condition we're in. And that thoughts about the condition we're in is what mental illness really is. Complaining about the facts of life, the facts of ourselves, or the facts of life outside of us. So anxiety itself is not these. Anxiety is purely known to us initially, and you will know yourself if you've ever had anxiety, you feel it in through your chest and throat area mostly. And then if it gets really, really bad, you can feel it through your whole body. But when I say really, really bad, I don't mean bad as in it's wrong. I mean when it gets really extreme, when it escalates, when it goes through your body in a way that you can feel it everywhere, and it can even escalate into what some people would call a panic attack, where they're having difficulty breathing and so on. However, whether it's a panic attack level or whether it's just the beginnings of anxiety as a distress in your body, it's there for a reason. Okay, and that's what we have to understand. But how do we get to that understanding? If we have to allow that anxiety to be there. Yeah, so don't approach it as something to fix or something to get rid of. It's only your mental reaction and your mental approach to it to try and resolve this problem that turns it into a problem on the mental level. Otherwise, it's not actually a problem for the body to feel anxious any more than it's a problem for the body to feel cold or hot. It feels cold or hot as an indication as to what's going on in its environment. We need that type of information to know, what am I going to wear today? Yeah, is it hot or is it cold today? If we don't have the sensation of that in our body, then we've got no indication as to the environment we're going into, and like I just said, we don't know what to wear today. So the same with anxiety. When we feel anxiety, in our system, it's there for a reason. And that anxiety is the nervous system of our body being sensitive to the environment on the outside, or sensitive to the environment internally within itself. Either way, we're going to talk about both of these today, but either way, the anxiety is a physical sensation. It's not a mental state. It's only when we take physical sensations into the mental that they actually become confusing and a problem. And we can't resolve any sensation or any disturbance or any problem apart from purely mechanical problems, but we can't solve personal problems through thinking about them. We can only solve the personal problem, which is really only a problem because we don't like how it feels to be in our person. So we can only resolve that problem in the body. And in fact, I'll go so far as to say anything we do to resolve that problem that we see as being existing or feel existing in our body, anything we actively do is just more thinking. So I'll go so far as to say thinking makes a problem out of a natural condition or a natural sensation. So if we're thinking about it, we're trying to do something about it. In this sense, we shouldn't do anything. Anything we do is only going to make it worse. So what's important is understanding how to not do anything with your anxiety, or in fact any other disturbing sensation. Don't do a thing, which simply means don't analyze it, don't think about it, don't go into the stories around it. Just come back to the physical sensation of it in your body and find whereabouts in your body it is existing. And wherever it's existing in your body is also relevant. As we go further on with your work with me, you'll learn a lot about this, about the different areas of the body harboring different types of sensations. But today I'm merely focusing on the actual sensation, and in this case with anxiety, we're talking about it in the chest and the throat where it mostly is. But again, when it escalates into a panic attack and it's all through you, whether it's a very basic level of anxiety or whether it's gone way overboard into the extreme of a panic attack, is significant actually. However, the solution to that problem is exactly the same. Don't do anything about it. Don't try and stop it. Don't try and improve it. Don't change it. Don't think about it. Rather, feel it. Feel it as it is. You can't escape the feeling anyway. Yeah, the feeling's there, isn't it? The feeling of anxiety or panic is there in your body, whether you think about it or not. So by adding your thoughts to that feeling that's already fairly full on for you to handle, by adding more thoughts to it, adding all this thinking to it, you're actually escalating that anxiety to a point of emotionalism and mental disturbance caused by the thinking about it that is overwhelming you, and that's where you find you can't deal with it. That's when you really can't deal with it, because you've overwhelmed a natural sensation through your thoughts about it. Thinking is the problem, not the solution. Okay? So what is the solution to you living with anxiety? Is live with it where it is in your body. Feeling it where it is in your body enables you to start living with anxiety. Living with anxiety is actually important because, like the feelings of being hot or cold, that feeling of anxiety is there to guide you in your daily life, to inform you of the environment around you, or to inform you of something unresolved deeper within you. So anxiety is there for its own reason. It's one of the many sensations of the body that tells us very precisely what sensations do, because all sensations are slightly different and they're telling us something very, very different. They feel very, very different, yeah, within us. And so that sensation of anxiety is making us very alert to our environment. What's going on around us? What's happened before? What did that person mean by saying that to me? Am I in danger here? Is there anything for me to worry about there? Or sometimes, people have anxiety because they're picking up on someone in their life who's in trouble. So at a distance, like a mother may become quite anxious when her child has been hurt or is in danger, even though he's not even in the room with her, but her sensitivity is attuned to that child because that's her role as a mother. Now, actually, we all have that attunement to one another. So those people who are closest to us in our life tend to be the ones that we're more interconnected with because of our constant involvement with them. And so when they get a bit stressed out, something's going on for them, even if they're not in the same room or in the same vicinity, we may feel that distress hit us as well. Now, I'm not going to go to explaining that. I just want to point that out as a fact that most people are aware of. Yeah. So there you have it. Many things that are going on around you, the change in the environment, the change in the sensations of your friends, the change in the friggin' stars, yeah, in the planetary alignments and so on, in the atmosphere on all those purely physical levels will affect the way you are vibrating, you are feeling inside your own flesh. And so reacting to these things is not realizing that anxiety is information. It's information from the body of you, where all the information you need to navigate your life comes from. So in that information, your body is alerting you to something needs attention. Not necessarily something is wrong, just something needs attention. And the first thing you have to give attention to is the alert, the anxiety itself. So just feeling that anxiety wherever it is inside of you as a physical sensation in your body, and just take your time feeling it. Just let it be there. So your heart rate goes up, so your breathing gets a bit faster, so your nerves are screaming out at you. So what? It's just a sensation. It's not going to harm you. It's not going to do any damage to you. It's just a sensation. And it's a sensation that really you need to learn to live with. This tendency in our society to always want to be comfortable and always want to feel good is really, really distorting the human being. And it's preventing us from maturing into adult human beings. And an adult human being is mature because they've learned to live with every sensation that could possibly go on in your day. Every single sensation, without going into overreaction or dramatization or emotionalism over it. So they're not getting caught up in the story of themselves. They're just experiencing the fact of themselves and letting that come and go day to day, depending on the environment, the situation, and what they're going through. So when an adult handles stressful situations, if they're matured, they handle stressful situations usually better than the younger people because they are more used to going with the flow of those stressful situations. They've seen stressful situations sort themselves out before. But it's those other people in the world who haven't actually seen, whether because they're too young or because they've been actually traumatized, who haven't actually seen these stressful sensations pass in their life. They find when stress comes up, it's just another addition to the continuation of the turmoil or the torment that they live with most of the time. Now, this is an indication that that turmoil, that level of turmoil that's there most of the time, this is deeper inside of the human organism, deeper inside of the body of us, where we hold the memory as a sensation, the felt experience, the way in which we were affected at any point in our life in which we were badly affected. And that's caused a sensation, it's caused a feeling inside of us, and that feeling's still there. And that feeling is still there generally because of repetition. With trauma, it's usually because it's been really hard going for us in certain periods of our life, and we weren't able to resolve it. And what's left inside of us is the feelings of that event, or the effects that event actually had on us. Even if we don't remember the event cognitively, the feeling of the event is there. So in the case of, if you're a person who's unfortunately suffering anxiety to a point where it escalates into a panic attack, I would suggest this is indication that you have unresolved trauma, and trauma that you are not aware of mentally. You're only aware of its presence and its existence as a physical sensation, an overwhelming and frightening physical sensation occurring in your body. One thing I want to say about this, just to help you, is that fear that you are feeling in your panic attack. If you've suffered panic attacks, which is a heightened anxiety, if you've suffered these, you will know you do feel such things as terror and fear and concern and paranoia and so forth, but you don't necessarily know why. That's because you're not frightened, you're not paranoid, you're not anxious really about what's going on in your life today. You can't find any reason for feeling the way you feel today when you're having a panic attack. It's just something that comes over you, comes out of you, and takes place for a while, almost like, if you like a purge of this build-up of tension in your body. But that purge doesn't actually fix the problem, because you find if you're a person who suffers from panic attacks, this can go on for quite a long time. And this is essentially indicating that there's something harbored within you in the felt memory of the body, in the way in which we do hold such memories in the body as a sensation that can calm down and sort of settle into the background, but at certain times, often in most cases, in most of these cases, it tends to erupt, and it's easily triggered by people or certain people around you. And it's not a bad idea to notice the people who particularly trigger these types of sensations in you, and that may also give you some indication as to where exactly are you really disturbed, what is it you're really disturbed with, and who is it you're really disturbed with. But at this point, and even in the healing process through to its end of the tendency for a panic attack, it's not super important who or what you're disturbed with. It's more important that you learn to live with that disturbance, so that when it happens, that you don't go into a habitual overreaction to it, but you just stay with the feeling of it as it is in your body, understanding that this is not something doing you harm, and that the fear and the paranoia that you're feeling at that time is not actually what you're feeling about this going on, which is what most people would think. I'm having an anxiety attack, and therefore I'm frightened of the anxiety attack. This is actually a misunderstanding. What's actually happening is the fear and the distress and any sensation you're feeling during a panic attack or during your anxiety, that feeling is coming with that panic attack, and out of that panic attack, out of that anxiety, is not the way you're feeling about the anxiety or about the panic now. You may have thoughts about it, but putting aside your thoughts when you really don't know what it is you're upset with, well, all you can think about in reaction is the anxiety attack itself. But that thinking also, because there's no reason for you to be that way, that thinking is the product of the anxiety attack itself, and not really, in truth, your thoughts about the anxiety attack or your feelings about the anxiety attack. Why is this important? Because you can approach it in a very different way, in the way in which anything that's coming out of you is a purge. Anything that comes out of you is a healing of deeper unresolved memories within the body of you. And allowing that to happen is dissipating this huge build-up inside of you. And over the times that you feel that, you are gradually dissipating it more and more and more, to eventually you'll get to a point where you're able to feel this without as much disturbance as you originally had. And this is the point at which the cognitive memory of whatever event happened in your life or has happened in your life to cause you to be this way can start to emerge. But that's going into another layer again. The first thing I want to stick with today is just the anxiety itself that you're feeling is not wrong. It's not bad. It's not something to dramatize about. It's not something to worry about. It's something to feel until that anxiety either dissipates in its own time, or actually until during that moment or that period of anxiety, by really feeling with it and really, if you like, listening to it. What I mean by listening to it is obviously you're not going to hear a sound of anxiety, but you're going to feel the sensations of anxiety. Whilst feeling that anxiety, without you realizing it, many things are occurring to you in that thought process. And if you're quiet and just feeling into that anxiety, you are literally feeling into the information that your body is spewing out. And part of that information is what has triggered that anxiety in you in that moment. And in that, just listening to your body, listening meaning feeling the sensations as they are going on in your body, whatever thinking is coming from that, pay attention to that. And as you do, not get caught up in it, but just let that thinking go on. But to do that, you really need to be in your anxiety and letting the anxiety go on without thinking about it, without reacting to it. And as you're not thinking about it and not reacting to it, you're just purely in the anxiety, then any information about that anxiety, any information from your body telling you what that anxiety is about can be noticed in your thinking because you're quiet. And when you're mentally quiet, you can actually start to attune to what information is coming to you cognitively from these more extreme feelings in the body of you. And the benefit of that, of course, is that you start to realize things. You start, that's what's going on. This is what's going on. And when these things happen, then the reason for the anxiety has been revealed. It's trying to communicate something to you, something that's only initially sensed and picked up on a sensory level that isn't really cognitively clear to you. And just by being with those sensations in your body, many things become clear. And over time, you'll get better at this. You learn to be with all types of sensations, knowing that whatever sensation is going on in your body is not an enemy, it's not a problem, it's not something to get rid of. It's actually not an illness to resolve, it's actually information about your life on the outside or your life of you on the inside that will help you understand what's going on in your life. And you all have this ability, this sensitive ability of being connected to the environment around you and connected to yourself, of course, or within yourself, which brings you from that sensation an understanding of the world around you and of yourself that is beyond the attempts of trying to understand yourself intellectually or mentally. This is not thinking about yourself to understand yourself. This is feeling into the very sensations that are a part of being you and noticing what those sensations, when you're quiet enough, noticing what thoughts are being triggered and coming from those sensations in the body of you. For one thing to understand that most people have not understood or have forgotten is that sensation precedes intelligence. Sensation precedes the information within it. So the thoughts that express the information within that sensation are there, are coming with that sensation. So if there's a panic attack, at the same time, if you can really anchor into that as it is in your body and just write it out and stay with the whole sensation of that, you will find that that too has the potential to ultimately bring tremendous insights from that, what you've sensed as a body, into what you can now realize at a thought level in your life and about your life. And this sensitive connection with your life is there all the time. It's just when you think too much, you don't notice this information flow that is coming from the body of you all the time. And when you don't notice that, you don't get the information you need to navigate your life and to actually see through the confusion of your own thinking and receive the benefits of each and every sensation, and especially things like anxiety when they're going on in the body of you. Okay, so thanks for listening, and I hope that was helpful. And if you like this type of information, just hit the subscribe button or the like button so that I can get an indication of where to go with all my talks for all of you. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. If you want to take your meditation and healing journey deeper, download my meditation app Undo, which is available exclusively on my website undoapp.com. Okay, bye for now.